Welcome back. Today I'll be reading chapter 13 of Junior Blaze Birth of a Hero. Shout out to Chilled Cow as always. Catch up with me on Facebook, facebook.com/JuniorBlaze2020. And let's dive right in. Chapter 13. Once they had ended their evening of training, which was mostly MJ watching Marcus doing extraordinary things, the two heroes made their way home. MJ had gotten a little antsy to join in the action, but was still impressed by the way Blaze seemed to work so flawlessly. After the home invasion, he stopped a car chase, a bar fight, and a mugging at gunpoint. That was when MJ got a little nervous, because he didn't think his father saw the second gunman. Fortunately for MJ, but rather unfortunate for the muggers, Blaze's cat-like reflexes allowed him to disarm and dispatch both criminals. It was right around 11 o'clock p.m. when they stepped inside their home and were immediately greeted by a scowling Deborah. She was still in her work scrubs even though she had been home for hours, and she had a coffee mug in her hand, gripped tightly. Behind her on the dining room table was a baked macaroni casserole, long since cold. She set her coffee down on the end table and rose from her recliner slowly. She approached Marcus, who had removed his helmet and was looking worried, and gave him a hug. "Any injuries?" she asked, scowl fading, replaced by a look of genuine concern. "No, dear. It was a fairly easy night," Marcus responded tenderly, attempting to ease his wife's nerves. "And you?" Deborah asked, turning her attention to MJ. "Are you hurt?" "No, Mom. I just watched Dad do his thing tonight," he replied quickly. "Well, sounds like a successful night. I can sleep restfully now." Deborah gave Marcus and MJ a hug and kiss, emptied her coffee in the sink, and walked to the stairs. "Dinner is on the table if you guys are hungry. Love you." "Love you too," they said in unison. The Stevens men sat down at the dinner table in contemplative silence for a few minutes, each replaying the night's events in their heads. Marcus was thinking about any mistakes he made, however small, and how to avoid them in the future. MJ was mulling over how he could have helped, or if he would have been as aware as his father in a similar situation. After nearly 10 minutes, MJ spoke up to break the silence. "Why wasn't Mom more upset?" he asked softly. "Because she understands what we're doing out there. She also knew we wouldn't be able to stop you from going out on your own, so we figured working with me was the best option." MJ considered this for a moment before speaking again. "When can I help, fighting crime?" he asked, switching gears. "You could have helped tonight, had there been any need. You needed me more than a few times out there. Yet somehow, I still managed to handle it alone," Marcus smirked. He was enjoying getting under MJ's skin and watching him try to pretend it didn't bother him. "Same thing tomorrow night?" MJ asked hopefully. "Can't do tomorrow, son. I promised your grandfather I would come lend him a hand doing a few things around the farm." "Oh, okay," MJ said, trying not to sound heartbroken. They finished up their late dinner and decided to prepare for bed. Marcus washed the dishes while MJ dried and put them away. They were already working together like a team, MJ thought. With a quick goodnight, he bounded up the steps and into his bedroom. He didn't realize how difficult removing his sweaty costume would be until he went to undress for the shower. Material was stuck like suction cups to areas of his body that he had no desire to yank from. He gently and tenderly peeled himself free from his uniform, questioning why his father voluntarily chose to do this every night. He scooped up the sweaty clothing from his floor and deposited them in the dirty clothes hamper. MJ turned the hot water in the shower on high and stepped in. The heat and high pressure washed away at him, and he suddenly realized just how exhausted he was. 2 days of late nights and superhero adventures had him nearly as tired as working on the farm. He jumped out of the shower and got ready for bed in record time. Once he drifted off to sleep, he once again dreamt that he was Blaze. This time, he had to save Emily from a trap that had been laid by his mortal enemy, one of the burglars from earlier that night, because dreams are weird. He had her tied up and suspended over a bottomless pit, and was giving a speech about some sort of world domination or other generic supervillain cliche. Once he was done speaking, he cut the rope, dropping Emily into the crevice. Moving rapidly, Blaze sped into the pit, catching Emily at the last second and sprinting her to safety before returning to face his nemesis. He dodged the bullets from his foe's gun before disarming him and catching him with an uppercut to the jaw, laying him out flat. The police arrived and hailed him a hero, and Emily planted a grateful kiss on her hero's lips. MJ awoke to the sound of his phone ringing and the pleasant smell of pancakes wafting up to his room from the kitchen. Deciding to address his phone first, he picked it up just in time to see it was a missed call from Emily. She must have known I dreamt about her, he chuckled to himself. He attempted to call her back but was greeted by her voicemail. Assuming she was busy, he immediately recognized that the hunger he felt was growing stronger due to the delicious smell taking over the house. He rolled out of bed and made his way downstairs to eat. His mother was preparing him a plate just in time to feed him. MJ took the dish of pancakes greedily and smothered them in syrup and butter. Just as he was about to dig in, he noticed his mother looking at him with deep concern. "Mom, I'm fine," MJ said. "I know you are. That doesn't mean I can't worry." Deborah sat down at the table across from him. She watched him take a few huge bites out of his pancakes before she continued. "I've seen your father crawl into this house from injuries and exhaustion. I've treated some of the nastier stabs and gunshot wounds he has endured. He takes this kind of punishment nightly and still wakes up every morning for work. I just need to know if you are willing to make that kind of commitment." "Absolutely," MJ proclaimed without hesitation. "Are you 100% certain? Think about it." MJ started to deeply consider all the things his mother had mentioned while he finished his breakfast. Could he really spend nights protecting the city and maintain a healthy, normal daily routine? He knew he had a high tolerance from pain from all his years playing sports, but was he able to handle being stabbed, or worse yet, shot? He remembered what his father said about using their gifts to protect those who can't protect themselves, and that was all he needed to strengthen his reserve. "Mom," he said, looking at Deborah with intense confidence, "I am more than ready to make that commitment." "Somehow, I knew you would be. Suppose I should stock up on my anxiety medication?" They laughed and hugged before MJ cleaned up. He had every intention of inviting Nat over to hang out today, since Marcus was at Arthur's farm. Just as he picked up the phone to call him, there was a knock at the front door. MJ opened it and was greeted by Nat. He looked disheveled and unclean and appeared to still be wearing pajamas. "Dude, whoa, what's wrong?" MJ asked with a frown. "Erica dumped me," Nat said flatly. "Oh, no," MJ mourned, ushering Nat into the house. "Why? What happened?" "Wish I knew," Nat replied, sitting down with a flop on the couch. Deborah had heard the news and began to make Nat his own hot tea and pancakes. The worst part is, she did it through a text. "That's like a slap right in the face," MJ said, rallying behind his friend. She said with school starting in a few days and all the things going on at home, she just didn't have time to see me anymore. "What things at home?" "Her mom and the broken ankle, her dad busy with work, and she said they were taking a small vacation this weekend before school." "Vacation? Did she mention where?" "I don't know, bro," Nat said as Deborah re-entered the room and placed his tea and pancakes in front of him. "Thanks, Mrs. S." "Anytime, sweetie," Deborah said sweetly. "Food always helps mend a broken heart." Deborah told the boys she had a few errands to run and would be back in a few hours. She dressed and left the two teens watching television. They spent a few hours relaxing and keeping Nat's mind off the former love of his life. MJ cracked a few jokes at his buddy's expense, and after a while, Nat started to loosen up. Before long, Deborah had returned and started preparing a lunch for the three of them. They enjoyed grilled burgers and bratwursts and talked more about the upcoming school year. Nat even attempted to flirt with MJ's mom for the first time since orientation. Afterwards, the boys went up to MJ's room and continued to hang out. "Man, I really miss Erica," Nat said while tossing a football in the air to himself. "I'll probably never find another woman like her." "You have got to stop feeling sorry for yourself, dude," MJ said, snatching the ball out of the air away from Nat. The ringing of MJ's phone distracted him briefly, and Nat snatched the football back. "It's Emily." "Well, answer it," Nat exclaimed. "Maybe she's with Erica." MJ rolled his eyes and answered the phone. "Howdy," he said, wondering if he'd ever get over his increasingly awful telephone greetings. I just wanted to, call and check up on you," Emily stammered. "Oh, I'm good. Great, actually," MJ said. "How about you?" "Not too bad. My dad and Erica just left on a trip." "Yeah, Nat told me. Said Erica dumped him, too." "Why didn't you go?" "Well, somebody has to, take care of Mom." "Right, of course." There was a long, awkward pause between them. Nat took this opportunity to whisper in MJ's ear to ask if Erica had told her anything about the breakup. MJ waved him off and gave him a one-handed shove off the bed. MJ held his finger to his lips to hush Nat when he started to whine. There's something I need to tell. Do you want to go out again? They both started, talking over each other in the process. I'm sorry, you go first, MJ said apologetically. No, you go ahead. I was asking if you wanted to go on another date, MJ stuttered, sounding eerily like Emily. Oh, well, yes, but what? MJ asked on the edge of his seat. There's ghosts in my house. But what? MJ asked on the edge of his seat. This is really hard to say, Emily said quietly, but I think you need to check on your grandfather. My grandfather? MJ asked, stunned. What's he got to do with any of this? What's wrong with my grandfather? I've already said too much, Emily said abruptly. I have to go. She hung up quickly and MJ plopped down onto the bed, mind racing. He already found it strange that Emily and Erica seemed to have such an interest in his family, but coming right out and telling him to check on Arthur was above and beyond unusual. Was something wrong with it? If there was, how did she know? Nat tapped him on the shoulder and he snapped around to look at him, still shaken by his thoughts. What's going on, man? What's wrong with your Gramps? Nat asked. I have no idea, MJ said breathlessly, a frown forming on his brow. He rose from his bed and moved quickly to the door. I think we need to find out. Mom, when is Dad coming home? MJ asked as he made his way down the stairs. Should be soon. He said he would be home around dinner time. Why? Just curious, MJ lied. He gave Nat a look, then motioned for him to step outside. Mom, do you mind if I go hang out at Nat's house for a while? Not at all, son. Be safe. MJ followed Nat onto the front porch and started pacing immediately. Nat watched him, concern all over his face. He knew exactly what MJ was thinking, because he was thinking it too. It was time to visit the farm. And that's the end of chapter 13 of Junior Blaze Birth of a Hero. Don't forget to check me out on the Facebook page. You can like that page, share it, subscribe here, share this page as well. And I'll be back next week to read you chapter 14. Till then, deuces, peeps.